into our bonus day of the Land an Ideal Role Without Doing a Job Search Masterclass. As you're coming in, if you could make sure that you do mute yourself, that would be great. And then happy Friday and happy Cinco de Mayo. And it's a beautiful, beautiful day here in the Chicago area. So hopefully it's very beautiful where you're at. And again, I always love to know where you're watching from today. So if you could put that in the comments, in the chat, that would be awesome. And let me try to do my screen share again because I was not setting this up properly. So let me do that. We'll give it a go here. But yeah, again, as you're coming in, make sure you mute yourself so we minimize any background noise. And then also put in the chat where you are watching from. That would be great to know. All right, and then if you, for extra bonus credit, if you were able to hear our guest speaker that we had yesterday, we had Charles Solomon, who's a past masterclass participant. He was like, I basically interviewed him and he gave some really good tips on connection, because connection work can be, again, frustrating to people, between having enough time to do it and then also feeling awkward and strange, and just not everyone likes it. A lot of people dislike it. And so with all of those challenges, but it really is the key to what we're talking about this whole masterclass. It's the key to landing an ideal role without doing a job search, is doing that connection work. Okay, so we've got our recording set up. That's good on Phantom. I'm also going to have Zoom
yes,
as a backup.
exactly.
All right.
This meeting is being recorded.
We're going to make sure we have everyone muted. So make sure that you are muted. And then Jarrell, just so I can keep on going along here, I'm going to make you the host now.
Sure.
Hopefully, yes. All right. And that way, if anyone comes in late, you can attend to them and we can go from. All right, awesome. And we've got Debbie in LA, yay for LA, and Byron in the Atlanta area. Thanks for putting that in there. And then we're going to have more people. So Jarrell, you're in charge of letting more people into the Zoom room as they come in. And because you all are live today, you are going to get my recommended resource list. So I'm really happy to be sharing that with you today. So anyway, let me do my overview with you, because I really want to hit the high points with you. I also want to just go through the workbook too quickly, just because that's part of the highlights as well. And then I'm going to share my recommended resource list with you. We will make sure that the live attendees get the link for the recommended resources. Okay, so I will actually make sure that I put that in the chat for you near the end of this 30-minute session too. So I also have to watch the time because it's important. I want to move quickly through this and give you a good high-level summary. All right, so let's go. Let's get started. And this is a review. These aren't like new slides. These are the slides that I use from day 1, 2, and 3. So if you feel I'm moving quickly through them, I am, because I want to give you a high-level summary. I'm like picking out the one most important thing typically in each one of these days. Okay, if any of you have read, I believe the author is Gary Keller. He was one of the founders of the huge real estate company Keller, I believe it's Keller Williams. And he wrote a book called The One Thing. And so often when we find ourselves getting overwhelmed, and you can do this with your career or if you're in transition, think of the one thing that you have to do. So if you feel particularly overwhelmed today, try to focus on that one thing. What's the most important one thing that you need to do in order to move the needle? Okay, and if you can just do that thing, and then you can always move on to the next thing if you get done with it early. But I love that whole idea of focusing on the one thing. All right, so again, really want you to have a career plan. That is important. You know, because again, if we don't have a career plan, how are we going to get to where we want to go? And again, this lovely quote from Oscar Wilde, it's important for you to be you in your career. I don't want you to be anyone else. So the foundation, remember I had you do that exercise. Maybe you're done with it already. Did you ask the 5 people that you spend the most time with? Or maybe you're still working on it, and that's okay. But make sure you do that, you know, finding out the 5 adjectives from them. And then you can also think about your star stories, because we did have the star stories worksheet in the workbook to help you, because your brand is about, like, those, your star stories are the foundation to your brand. And then once you have the clarity on that, then, and even if you are an executive and you've been working, you have like 20 plus years of experience, you might be like, oh, Christine, I'm too senior for this. You need to go back and get grounded in your brand. It's really important because that's what you stand in. So it's important that you take the time to just reaffirm, this is who I am, this is what I'm up to, and this is my brand. And how do you want to use it? That's the most important thing, because it evolves as we evolve, as we change over time. What you did a year ago even may not be what you want to do anymore. And that's okay, because we're changing. So you need to really tap into your brand on a regular basis so you can get clear on what's your ideal role at this time. And then I provided my definition of this. Oh, and by the way, we are going to be having it in an email for you, but we're updating. Typically, we do have a landing page for this masterclass that is one-stop shopping that will have all of the recordings for you to access. And even if you attended everything live, I do recommend that you review the sessions. And you could do it like when you're vacuuming, just pop your earbuds in. And I do that with any learning that I do. I find it's really helpful, even with podcasts. Those podcasts that I really like, I listen to them at least a couple times, or audiobooks. So I recommend that you do that with this too, so it really sinks in, so you're really getting things that you can take action on and that it sticks for you. On day 1, we talked about the inner critic and the inner mentor. So anyway, these slides are going to be on the landing page too. So I don't want you to be panicked or anything. We're going to have it available for all of next week. So we will get you that landing page once we're done with all of our updates, and even loading the recording from today on there. So you'll have the recording, you'll have the slides, and yeah, so we're excited about you having that. We talked about, again, how important it is to regularly check in with your inner mentor, because we have all of this external noise that we're constantly dealing with, and our inner critic on top of it. It's like we want to turn down the volume of that inner critic that we hear all the time and turn up the volume on the inner mentor. And in order to do that, we have to be really deliberate and intentional on it. So that's important. And then remember, the inner mentor will lead you to your big scary goal. So if I had to pick the one thing for you to get out of day 1, I think the biggest thing would be for you to have that regular reflection time in your day. It's not a lot of time, like maybe 5 minutes. If you can fold in a little bit more, that'd be great, but it doesn't have to be a lot. But again, to check in and say, you know, who was I being today? Was I on brand today? Did I do the work that I really wanted to do today? And, you know, how can I do that? How can I be on brand tomorrow? So think about that. And then with the big scary goal is the goal card. I have my goal card once again on my desk today, and I want you to have your big scary goal too. I want you to use the career goal card, especially for those things that one thing maybe that you've been working on, and it's been challenging. And by having a simple power of the goal card that you're carrying around, that's on your dresser when you wake up in the morning, and it's like it keeps you tethered to that goal. It keeps you focused, because again, we have all of these distractions. We have the inner critic constantly in our head saying all this garbage to us. We really want to stay focused and be on the path, so you're increasing your chances of success in pursuing that goal. Here are the QR codes again with these resources. So a meditation video, it's a guided meditation. I don't think I mentioned that. I know meditation can be hard for many of us. So, but that's part of reflection work too, just to really get quiet and give yourself that quiet time. So I like this meditation video. I feel like it's a meditation for dummies almost, because it can be so hard to quiet your mind. I'm not saying any of you are dummies. If anyone, I mean, it's like we all have monkey mind. So whatever we can do to quiet our mind, it's a good thing. And that's what's so good about this meditation video, as well as this is a little app to help you with your goals and gratitude and just staying on track, and even affirmations. The key with affirmations is to remember that you have to be, you have to believe. If you don't believe what you're telling yourself, it's not going to happen. It's almost like you're lying to yourself. It's really important that you pick a statement that you believe, and then you can use that affirmation. Use that to replace something that's negative that you're constantly telling yourself. We did this resume audit bonus on day 2, which was really exciting to do that. So yeah, so that's good. Let me just check the chat too. Oh, the meditation code is not working. Okay, thank you, Debbie, for letting us know. We will fix that, and we will get that to you. I think too, I actually have that meditation on the resource list. So when we pull that up, we'll get that to you. Don't forget to, so I'll be sharing the workbook after this, but utilize the Career Clarity Club for community. Like if you have questions, if you just want to put a question out to the group, you can do that. It's a good place to do that. For day 2, we talked about the career plan, and these are the components that you have that you really need to have in a good career plan, right? So managing the mindset, and we were talking about that, like really paying attention to your mindset. And then also too, part of mindset is it goes back and forth between how you feel. So you might be doing your best to stay focused on finding a new role, and you keep on hearing this one negative message in your head. And you could be working really hard to change it, to flip it. But you also have to pay attention to your feelings as well. So when you're really stuck in a bad mood, do something that will help your mood and your mindset together. Maybe it's making sure you're exercising, making sure you're eating good food, you're getting sleep, you're drinking enough water. How your body feels is really important as well. Sometimes we can be very focused in our heads. Mindset is very important. That's why I have my certification in that. But don't discount your health and your body, taking care of your body and your health. Just wanted to make sure I said that. Star stories, your career documents, the target company list, which is like the GPS for your career, connection work, and then receive. So again, these are the components of your career plan. If I had to pick the one key thing from this day for planning, I guess the main thing I would say is to really use that target company list. You have to use it properly, because many people who are in job search mode, they may have a target company list, but I don't think they're really fully leveraging it, okay, and using it as a GPS, okay? It will really help you and direct your search, so you're not being reactive and you feel empowered. I think doing a job, being in transition, doing a job search, one of the awful things about it is we can feel powerless. And we want to take back our power and really drive it. So again, and then day 3, which was yesterday, to connect. And we had Charles talk. Unfortunately, we had that delay with his power going out, so he wasn't able to join our call right when we needed him to. But he did get on for a little bit, so that was good. Of course, that's how Zoom and the universe is sometimes. It's like, we have these little challenges, but we were able to get through it. So again, really catch yourself, I want you to try to use connecting instead of networking, because I know for me, I feel better. I'm more likely to do connecting work versus networking. And even just that change in wording, if that helps you to do a better job of connecting, then do it. Use what we have in the workbook. We have this 1-pager to help you measure your connection activity so you can get started, and get started with as little as 5 minutes a day. Use this 30-day challenge to start making it a habit. And you might be like, Christine, I don't have the time. If you watch the news or you're on social media, switch out that time. Replace those with being on LinkedIn to do 5 minutes of connection work. And then don't forget what Charles said. He likes to eventually get people in email because he finds that's a better way. And I can see why, because again, remember, social media is kind of rented space. It's always changing. And we want to make sure that we have our contacts in a solid, stable place for us as a resource. This was my LinkedIn checklist for you on the key things. And here is the overview of my program. And this is basically how the masterclass is designed. Like day 1 was reflect, and day 2 is plan, and day 3 was connect. And you could say today, the bonus day, my recap is like putting everything together for you. So for day 3, I guess if I had to pick the one most important thing that I want you to get from day 3 is to start connecting, to start doing it if you're not doing it already, okay? And to alternate, to pay attention to both existing connections and to new connections. That is important as well. I didn't get to talk about Seabiscuit yesterday. So I'm just going to say Seabiscuit is a great example, great real life example. And also too, if you remember the Chicago Bulls when Michael Jordan was on the team, I mean, how individuals come together and create magical things. And this is why connection is so wonderful, because this can happen in your career too. Maybe you worked at a company where you were on a team and people came together and did amazing things that surpass what an individual would be able to do. And that's what happened with Seabiscuit. Each of these individuals, the horse, the jockey, the trainer, and the owner, were just kind of mediocre on their own. And when they came together, amazing things happened. And this was during the Depression, and they uplifted the United States during that time. It's a great book too. You might have seen the movie, but the book is even better. But this is just a wonderful example of the beauty of connection and what happens when we come together, we connect, and we collaborate. So wanted to remind you of that. Okay, and this was just talking about Charles. Okay, so now I'm going to stop my screen share. I want to give you, as I'm pulling up the link for my recommended resource document, I wanted to give you the opportunity Did you have any questions? Because I know I felt like we were rushed near the end because we got behind with with Charles, with the delay in Charles joining us. But are there any questions that you would like to have answered? If you could drop them in the chat, that would be terrific. And while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up my document here. So give me a second. All right. But yeah, feel free to put any questions that you might have. I know we also there was a question from yesterday that was regarding the LinkedIn profile. And if you haven't done a clarity call with me, I think everyone on this call is either booked or has done one. So that's great. That's really good. But I want everyone to focus on the top part of your LinkedIn profile, because that's the first thing people see when they click on your profile. You want them to linger on your profile. You want them to really, focus on you, learn about you, read about you, and eventually give you a call. So like when they pull up your profile right then and there, we want them to, look at it and be like, this person is interesting. I want to give them a call. And basically, that's like your call to action when they visit your landing page. So think about it that way, that, you're really motivating someone to reach out to you and to give you a call. So let's see, here's the workbook. So let me share this because this is important too. I wanted to just give you a really high level overview of this. So this workbook too, we designed it so you could use it throughout the year, right? So when you do the star stories, basically like make a copy of this too. Make a copy, because ideally you should have 5-star stories in your pocket ready to share with others, okay, when you are doing your connection work, okay? So use this worksheet and make a copy of it so you have your 5-star stories ready to go, right? And then here's the career goal card that I talked about. Please use that. I would love for you to use that to help you to stay focused on your big scary goal. And then here in the workbook, we have this weekly connection thermometer. So that way, and see, here's where you're giving yourself the points, right? So that way, because again, going back to that saying, we manage what we measure. That is really important too. Manage what we measure. So if you're not measuring your connection activity, then it's much harder for you to, to manage it. So because you're not measuring it, it's like, is this working? Is it not working? And that really helps you to get a better handle of it. It really does. Okay, so now give me a second regarding the resource document for you. Oh, here it is right here. So I'm going to share this. And I'm going to hit the highlights of this for you really quick too. Oops, that is not what I wanted. I want this. Okay, so here we go. So again, I'm going to put this in the comments for you so you can access it. Let me just click my little link here. So we have this. All right, and then we will put this in the chat so you have it as well. Oops. I think it's because of my share. There we go. All right, so there it is in the chat. You should be able to access it. If you have any trouble accessing it, let us know. Jarrell, please make sure that you have a note of everyone who's attending the live, so we can make sure that everyone gets the resource list. Going back to this. Okay, so I tried to put it in the order too of the masterclass with reflection, resources for you. Oh, here's a new meditation too. So this is the one that we had the QR code, this Becoming Your Best Self. That's like a guided meditation. That's only 10 minutes. So that's what this link is. This one is a slightly longer one that is really good too, and that's a guided meditation. But I wanted to give you 10-minute and 20-minute, so you have options there. Assessments are great to get clarity on your brand. So I wanted to include those for you. Here's some of the books. If you've done a career clarity call with me, I might have recommended a book to you. So I have the links for these books in this too, okay, to help you. And a lot of these have excellent audio books as well. And then some articles as well. So, and then this is for women to help with negotiation. But I do help. I think everyone in general, not just women, but because of the massive pay gap that we have in the United States, I think there's more resources available for women with negotiation too. So anyway, that's this resource list. And then lastly, in closing, I want to invite you to, if you haven't done a career clarity call, to do that. And also to think about, what you need help with. If you were to invest in coaching, and even if it was a small investment, maybe, because I do a few things separately. Like I do my interview prep kit, which is one session. Okay. Depending on what your needs are, because I want to meet you where you're at. Not everyone is going to need 3 months of coaching to help with their job search. Some people may only need to be prepped for all of their interviews because they're nervous, they hate interviewing. Or maybe you need help with negotiating the best salary possible for you and the best benefits package. So that's something else. Even with LinkedIn, I do help you with just your LinkedIn profile, depending on what you need with that. But typically the biggest problem is not communicating your brand fully with your LinkedIn profile. That's important. I want you to think about the value that you provide. And if you were to invest in coaching, what would be the value that you would need? What kind of return on your investment would you need to get? And because that is really important, because we don't think about things like one of my clients, Melissa, she was really having a lot of self-doubt and really questioning the salary range that she was asking for. And by working with her, she got the money that she was looking for and then some. So that saved her at least like $10,000. And that's huge. That makes a huge difference. So right there, you get return on investment for deciding to work with a coach. And I want you all to seriously consider working with a coach. It doesn't have to be me. It does not have to be me, although I would love to work with you. But I want to encourage you to get help, because again, it kind of goes back to Seabiscuit, what I was talking about. When people get together, when we work together and we collaborate, we can do so much more outside of being on our own, and that's the other terrible thing about a job search, is that it's very isolating. So let's just ditch the job search altogether. It has so many negatives to it, and let's transform it and really think about it as connecting, and we're being important. We're treating our career, we're giving it the importance and priority that it deserves. So that's pretty much it with the bonus day today. we will send out the email with the replay, and then we will get to you the landing page as well. So you will have that resource landing page. I think we'll shoot to get it to you Monday. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I'm so grateful that you were able to attend, and I look forward to doing clarity calls with those who haven't done that. And have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.